Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Bear, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
Does my lighting look better? I try to make my lighting look better.
It looks exactly the same.
It's fine.
It does not, but thank you.
I like that because I said it's the same, and you said it's fine, which is the same thing because we always tell them it looks fine.
It is true, but it did look like crap. Now we're bright.
Man, it looks like a doctor's office now. It was cool before.
Yeah, but the problem was that when they were editing my videos, they were having a hard time not making me look like a vampire or a lizard.
They're both those things. So, but you don't want people to know. Okay.
It really was coming through in the videos, and because like
where they can tell that your skin is actually see through.
No, my eyes were all like small because the lights were were so down that they were trying. I don't know what it was. I don't know, but I was like,
"What's that? What's the reptilian eyelid that closes the wrong way?"
Dude,
I don't know.
It was weird looking. I was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna work. Make that picture in picture and do something else. People can't see that." So I was like, I got to work on my lighting. So I worked on the lighting.
Proud of you, Rob.
And no one cares. Yes.
Someone cares.
Winning.
So we've already had an exciting night.
Yeah.
People listening. So we had an after hours special with Steven from XPZ, who's been on the show many times. He was coming to us from under a bridge in an undisclosed location in California.
In a car.
He said he was in a car, but I didn't see any evidence. Like he was working under a bridge.
Was it the seat? Maybe the seat behind him?
I've seen a lot of just random
windows?
car seats under a lot of bridges in California.
Yeah, I suppose so. Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, but we had an interview with him. So that's on the after hours content over on the paywall. And then we ordered, but through movie magic, we're going to pretend that we're doing this chronological with Kicker. So it's a big.
Why are you telling people our secrets?
Does it feel like we don't have secrets? Because we just literally did that live.
Yeah, but that's only like a couple hundred people watching. What do they know?
But like only like 150 people actually listen to our podcast. So it's like,
well, that's not true.
But I feel like we've got our meat and potatoes content covered for the evening already, so I feel good about that.
Yeah. I mean, we can just phone it in from here on.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, I plan on it, but you're gonna have to do your job.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
It's all right, dude. We're taking all December off. It'll be fine.
We are not fine. We are taking next week off.
Bro, imagine if you and me just didn't show up after he's been campaigning for this shit. We were like, no, and we were like, gotcha, bitch. We're taking the whole month off.
I mean, I don't care either way.
Yeah, you know what? I
Say
believe
that.
I believe him when he says that. Because like, what's the
Just gave me
worst?
permission.
What's the worst that happens? He sits down. He's like, "Where are you guys at?" We're like, "We played a prank on you. We got you, good fucker." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just like sitting in the same place I was already sitting, dude. Like, I'm just gonna go back to do whatever I was doing."
Yeah, I was like, it really doesn't matter.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm not good at pranks. I see that now."
Like, you have played yourself.
But yes, Rob. So obviously, in case it needed to be mentioned, we won't be on the air.
It's Thanksgiving. Yay! Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I guess my parents are doing Thanksgiving. They're hosting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess
Who's coming?
I don't know. My brother's coming. I know.
Oh,
my
cool.
brother and my nieces. So I'm excited about that. Like I can see my nieces. But I guess someone else was gonna host on the family, and then I got put on my parents. So they were like, it's like next week, right? I was like, what? They're like, yeah, Thanksgiving's next week. I was like, I think Rob mentioned something about that.
I did.
I'm bad at this.
It's okay.
I'm looking.
It gets even weirder because Christmas is on a Monday this year, which means New Year's is on a Monday too.
So
that's wild.
This isn't a would you rather because that's Rob. That's him. this other guy in the podcast. But would you rather like actually make a turkey on Thanksgiving or just like literally anything else?
Oh, anything else, dude?
That's what I thought. That's
So this year I am doing Thanksgiving at Golden Corral.
literally anything else. Genius. So it's a universal, literally anything else.
Yeah.
Like a sane, logical, like turkey's not even that good. Like
It can be.
It can be for like 14 seconds after you pull out of the oven. Then it's always dry and gross. And then you have to smother it in gravy to make it edible, but it's still fucking turkey, the least tasty lunch sandwich. Like,
True.
and it takes it takes hours to make this nonsense. Like, dude, you want
If you deep fry it, it's just
And then there's like the whole thing where you could screw it up.
yeah.
or explode your house.
Or just make chicken. My brother just started doing chicken instead. He was like, yo, chicken tastes better than turkey. That's a fact. I was like,
True.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just like,
fried chicken.
if I want deep fried turkey, I could just get that from like the grocery store right before Thanksgiving. And it's cooked perfectly.
Yeah, I just I wanted you just to feel that out there. I was like, you guys seem like a bunch of reasonable, intelligent people. I'm glad that we can all agree on this. Anyway, Wyatt, that's not I wasn't trying to stay spotlight with that. Just
It's a solid one.
That was a good one.
But let's actually turn it over for actual would you rather with Wyatt Turk.
Would you rather your electric bill be free, but you have to pay for the air that you breathe? Or your electric bill is free, but you have to pay for the hours that you sleep?
Yikes.
Man, paying for time. That's interesting. Monetizing time. That's dangerous.
I think I'd pay for the sleep.
I don't know. What's the quantity of air though? Like how would they meter that?
They're both magically metered, and
Yeah, it's magic.
I would say the math equation is so that neither of them is cheaper per unit. Right. So you can't, it's like half my questions were like, how much? You know what I mean? Like, okay,
But
doesn't matter.
What's the quality? Like what's the quality control? Like, yo, if I'm going to pay for sleep, if I'm paying for a premium product.
Good question. Am I getting a premium product or is it still up to me to
I mean,
sleep?
you're getting good sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, better be.
So I'm getting,
You're getting good air. Like the air is good, the sleep is good.
okay.
I mean,
It's just you're switching. Like you get free electricity, but like you will be picking up a new utility.
Y'all literally sleep then. I will pay for quality sleep.
yeah.
I'll pay the premium for using too much, right? You know, when they do that, when you use too many kilowatts per hour, then they bump you into the other price bracket because you're not saving energy.
Well, shit. Sometimes if you just turn the shit on, they're at the wrong time. It's a premium.
Yeah, like you know, they always have like an energy saving plan. I'm not on that. I'm not fucking on that with the sleep. Like sometimes I might be, but like I already don't get that much sleep as it is. But like if you're telling me like I get good quality like premium product for money, that would encourage me to use the service more often that I'm not using correctly right now. Simultaneously, like I'm down to pay for that. Like I'll go over on the fucking energy savings plan. You know? Fuck yeah, dude. And I get free electricity. The only problem is of like I can't pay my bill that month. How
Yeah, what do you do?
How
Your productivity goes
stiff
down.
are they on the late fee department? On the like, how bad is it? Is it like they give me like a couple of days?
Oh yeah, like there's some grace periods, but I mean eventually they will shut it off.
And then they'll furlough me, right? Like I'm fucked now
Yeah.
because I've been sleeping for free for half a year. They put me into sleep collections. That's a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's that, but air is just as much of a problem. So air is you're furloughed on air for the next. You know, like right now, you got to pay us all back. I'm cutting you off. Shit. The air one would, I think, stress me out too much. Even if the air was cheaper, you know. Does the air have any like side effects? Like makes me like
No.
is it like
just nice
Adderall
quality
gets
air.
into the air?
If
No.
it's that Canadian air floating down with that smoke in it, it's got some side effects.
No. It's like it's clean. It's magically clean.
Magically clean air.
Just like your sleep is magically good.
Man, I want the magically clean sleep or magically good sleep.
Yeah, I'll take magically. Well,
I've been drying out in the middle of the night and getting these like terrible headaches in the morning, and I'm just like, ugh.
Well, I mean, like some lizards like to sleep, submerged in water. Maybe you should try that.
The thing actually is that you're actually not supposed to sleep on the heat rack. Actually, that's actually a thing. Like you don't. It's actually too hot. Like
I got my moisture bottle over here spraying. It's just spritzing me,
like,
just going.
That's something that you might not realize, but that's probably what's drying you out. Just don't be skin to skin on your heat rack.
Don't be skin to skin. Okay. Fair enough.
Or just pay the genie for the fucking sleep.
I think I'm paying
and
for
sleep
the
on your and sleep on your fucking rack.
Why not both?
Yeah.
Why not both?
Good one, Wyatt.
Yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
Fucking. Well, let's turn it over to Rob for some breaking news on Old World's Dumpster Wars.
Old World Dumpster.
Old World Dumpster Wars.
.com. Somebody said I'm getting carbon dioxide poisoning. I don't think so.
From sleeping on your rock?
No. I got the little sensor and it's towards the ground, so.
What, because you have a fireplace?
I do have a fireplace.
I feel like people who had fireplaces for 1,000 years, they were good.
Well, it's propane.
I think we figured out the ventilation tech. There's a chimney, right?
There is.
Yeah.
But I keep it closed when it's on. Because, it's propane. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Anyways. Yeah, we got some news. So, some people might think there's a lot to talk about, but in actuality, there is. I guess we're not going to get to the whole like who won what, but just FYI's Chaos seemed to have dominated Eldar this week on the old stat charts there, which is kind of interesting for a lot of reasons. The fact that Eldar still hasn't got the nerf bat and Chaos is really starting to rise up is really interesting. But
wait, did you just say Eldar has not really gotten the nerf bat?
An effective one.
No, you're right. And so
they're still winning
kind of
constantly.
Like something we like to talk about here, which is that like the meta must adjust.
Right.
Knee-jerk FAQing is usually not the answer. As much as we want it to be because of how hot our feelings are about something at the moment, like people tend to find a way, man. And Chaos got like all the units that Chaos is using went up in points too. So it's not like a new thing showed up in their roll of fucking data sheets that made them suddenly better than Eldar out of nowhere. It was because we started figuring out the equation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I do like seeing that. It's worth commenting. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, where's everybody else at, right? So that's the thing. And, depending on how you talk to people don't like the stagnation. They don't like that, it's kind of, it changes, but it kind of seems like it's still saying the same, right? But, it is what it is. We're obviously going to get a December balanced data slate like we normally do. It's going to be about 3 months by then. So they may push it to January. Who knows with all the GW, delays and things that are happening there. So it's really just kind of hard to say at this point. There is the Warhammer World Championships happening right now and through the weekend, and we are getting a preview tomorrow. By the time y'all hear this, it'll be today, obviously. So lots of exciting things probably going to be on the way or be revealed tomorrow at the preview. It looks like Tomb Kings, looks like Dark Angels. Dark Angels, I think we'll see a lot more on the Deathwing side of things because Ravenwing got basically a redo. I guess the same time as Deathwing, but their models still, their bikes were quite a bit bigger than the original Space Marine bikes. So I think they still have a place, but it could be wrong. I think GW is definitely going to try to push some new Terminators on everybody because that seems to be what's in vogue right now. Custodies are also on deck for the winter slot of release, according to their Codex book. But remember, the winter technically ends, I think it's March 23rd, 2024. So right around Adepticon time, we might actually see the 4 Codex books fully released by that point. The Admech, Necrons, Dark Angels, and Custodies is basically falls in that time from now until Adepticon, which kind of seems really far away. So they're coming, but when? Well, when will then be now is always the question when it comes to Games Workshop. We did see this week that a Legion Imperialis is coming to tabletops. Well, I guess the first week of December. The starter box is $200, which seems to be a good price for the value in there. I think it books out to about $335-ish. So you get about more than half the price of the box back in value. And it is the only way to actually get the rule book outside of direct ordering it from Games Workshop, which I think a lot of people are going to want the rule book or the starter set. I think the starter set is probably definitely a good pickup, but I can see where a lot of people might supplement things from there, right? So there's that, and most of the units are looking at $50 each. Now, we did a breakdown based on the 2 army lists that were in the White Dwarf of how much it would actually cost to build 3,000 points based on those 2 army lists. Obviously, the one with drop pods was more. It was I think $1,000 plus the rulebook, and the one without all the drop pods that had more of the elements from the starter box were around $800. I think $860 if I recall correctly. So this isn't going to be a cheaper game to play, unfortunately, than Warhammer 40K. And judging by the fact that I got so many people to play Titanicus with me, and it was half the cost of that, I can see where some areas might not get a good turnout for the game. But people still seem very hyped for it, and I can't wait to see a bunch of tiny tanks and tiny drop pods and tiny marines on the tabletop just, doing their thing. So that will all start here in a few weeks, because the pre-orders basically from teaser to actually hitting the store, it's about 3 weeks, right? Or to hitting the store shelves rather. So if that's your thing, definitely keep an eye out for all of that. We did see today something pretty big. The 1/6 scale premium collectibles from Weta Workshop were unveiled today. Lieutenant Titus, 2 different versions of it, a collector's edition and a regular edition, supposedly stands about 2 feet tall, which, if you think about it, that's not 1/6 scale, because 1/6 scale, is basically half or, 1 foot to the height of whatever you're assuming the thing is 6 feet tall. But if you look at the statue, he's got a base, he's got a tactical rock, he's got a dead Tyranid he's on top of. So it kind of makes sense to be 2 feet tall. And in the video, they showed that they're working on St. Celestine and Abaddon as well. And they both looked pretty fresh.
You gonna buy one, Rob?
No, absolutely not. If I didn't buy the $1,500 auto transforming Optimus Prime, and now they have a Grimlock, I'm not going to buy the $1,300 Lieutenant Titus statue. Although it looks dope, and I'm sure there's plenty of folks out there that.
Do you regret not buying the Optimus Prime and the Grimlock?
Nah. You say you're like, oh, that's too much money, and you see what's in the case behind me. So things that cost that plus, I guess at the end of the day, you just got to buy what's of value to you, right? And that's I don't know. I'm just not there yet. I'm just not there.
Yeah, I save up all my money for sleep now.
Dude, you got to. I don't know. They look sick, and I'm sure they'll sell the crap out of them. So I can't wait to actually see one in person if I ever do. It's going to be one of those things that
like they
you
said,
just might never even see.
Someone
one.
said 1,300 units for the for the premium one.
For the premium one, yeah, it's a collector's edition. It's got different swappable heads, and I think
I mean, honestly, the price makes perfect sense to me. Like that, like it seems like
I don't think the price is off considering what it is. I mean, there's a lot of sideshow Hot Toys collectibles that are very close to that price for that size. I get it. It's just, it's not for everybody.
I mean, I could buy a whole army for
be.
that much money, so it's like,
or a whole army plus for sure.
Yeah, you can take a very deep plunge into the hobby for that cash.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, so moving on, I want to talk about some other stuff real quick. Creature Caster has everybody's going to have a sale. We're going to have all the sale posts, early Black Friday sales from as many hobby space brands and industry manufacturers that we found or emailed us back. There's early ones already, so we're going to have an early post tomorrow, and then we'll have our big Black Friday post next week as well for everybody to check out and scoop up all the sales and just kind of try to point it to everybody to all the good deals out there. And there's a lot of good deals out there right now on pretty much everything. So Creature Caster is doing a sale, of course, but they're also rolling out their their Lord of Onslaught, which is like that big bloodthirster just kind of smashing the ground. But what they did was they went back and they redid it, and now he's got a dual wielding option, which has a sword in his hand that about the size of a certain demonic Primarch that costs less than a certain demonic Primarch and is cast resin, pretty dope looking. So
that's exciting. I was actually looking at that model recently, being like, that'd be a sick ag run.
Well, now it's perfect. So they'll be rolling that out. Actually, I think it's up for sale right now on their US store. It's sold out on the Canadian side there. So yeah, the thing's pretty sick looking. Just the fact that he's like smashing the ground, it's basically supporting him. Is pretty dope. So look for that here very soon. Atomic Mass Games did some previews. They've got the Genosians coming out for Star Wars Legion. So if you're interested in playing those folks there, that will be out. I think it's coming out in January. So we saw the Ewoks, and now we got the Genosians, which are going to be pretty cool. And lots more to come, and definitely a lot more on the MCP side of things. Darktide, we saw some, if you're into the video games, Darktide put out a update a few months back, just doing very well. And they got another one coming out, I think in a few weeks. And that looks to kind of patch things up and bring it all together a year later. So might be worth taking a look at that game again, because a lot of people are jumping back on board. Just putting it out there that you might want to check it out because it looks pretty dope. And Monument Hobbies is putting out, we talked about their fluorescents that are coming out soon, but they have an acrylic weathering medium that might be pretty interesting if you don't like using oil-based stuff. Supposedly it works like magic. I've seen a couple pictures. I'm pretty interested in checking it out, but I kind of want to play around with fluorescents first because I got some range rulers and things for Star Wars Shatterpoint that I need to paint up. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll do the new Marvel Crisis Protocol starter. Yeah, who knows? But either way, can't wait to get my my hot little hands on those and play around with those fluorescents a little bit. So that's all the big stuff, and obviously we're going to see lots more stuff this week. And if I had to guess, next week's GW teaser or Sunday's teaser will be the Kill Team box with the Scouts and the Striking Scorpions inside, which means they'll probably hit store shelves middle of December, if I had to guess. But we'll find out just in a few more days here.
Well, look at us adults. So why don't we pause for a quick commercial break, and then let's get to that interview.
For the best game aids and peripheral tools for wargaming, check out our friend J15games.com. From moon counters and dials to faction rule trackers, these are the coolest tools out there. Designed to be functional and intuitive, these tools help you stay organized and speed up your game. Their flagship product, the Nesting, Movement, and Combat tool, is absolutely amazing. A magnetized measuring widget that splits into 3 different size tools for every situation. And you can get it in 8 different colors. J15 also offers custom ordered dice trays made from hardwood and leather. Check them out at j15games.com. That's j15games.com.
baronofdice.com, the official dice sponsor of the Long War podcast. Use promo code LONGWAR5 for 5% off. If you're looking for a superior dice manufacturer, then look no further than Baron of Dice. Custom artwork, faction representation, and crisp razor edge square dice. Remember to use promo code LONGWAR5. Again, that's baronofdice.com, the official dice sponsor of this podcast. And we're back for that exciting interview as promised with our boy Kicker. Let's turn it over to Wyatt, because Wyatt is our boots on the ground journalist on this.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Kicker.
Totally.
So what is, for our audience who hasn't met you before, what is your title with FLG?
Title. All right. I mean, like, technically I'm the events manager, but, half the time I'm unloading a truck, or, there's no, like, we all wear many hats at Frontline. Some people think Frontline's this massive company, but we all, we all do what it takes to put the events on. So technically events manager, I have to be at every single event, or I guess they just don't happen. That's where I'm at.
Hey, so we got this new event coming up next year. Big deal.
Yeah.
The Champions Cup. Tell us about the Champions Cup. What is the Champions Cup? Like, what's the hook?
Okay, so first of all, I take zero credit for this, right? Like, I don't know how much you know about the background of this event, but basically, Stephen Corrales approached us, right? Guy West Coast, XPZ, got a huge, community of players. I think you're on his team, right, man? Aren't you part of his group, right? Yeah, right. I mean, and like, they're not just like a competitive group, but they all show up and they just like really, they're good guys. Like, no one ever complains about somebody on Team XPZ.
Yeah, they're a solid group of guys. They're familiar with the OTPHJ currency. They're a close group of gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, like some guys really try to like wave that in your face or something. No, these guys are just like, they're going to go play. They're going to probably kick your ass, and they're going to do it smiling, and you're going to have to be smiling too. I don't know. Good guys. So Corrales and XPZ, they come to a lot of events in general, right? So, like, I really pride myself on listening to people that come to events. That's how we get better. And he's like, hey, man, I just got back from the WTC. This is what you need to do. And I'm like, what? And long story short, he pitched the idea of an 8-person team event. Now, I don't own Frontline Gaming. I work directly with Reese and Frankie, and I guess I'm like right there with them, but it's not my company. And, Reese and Frankie, they've been doing singles events. That's been kind of the bread and butter for the company, singles persons events, right? Like, it wasn't, team events were not a thing really on our radar.
And as a matter of fact, you guys had flirted with the Vegas teams.
Yeah, we did. We did.
You guys did that a few times, which was awesome. But you guys were pretty transparent about how, like, something wasn't right. Like, it wasn't equitable. Like, there's something about it.
I mean, dude, I will lift my skirt, man. I will tell you all the dirty secrets, man. I have no secrets.
No, I was talking to Reese. He told me straight in his face. He's like, I don't know if we can keep doing this. He's like,
exactly.
He's like, this is my favorite shit. He told me straight in my face. He's like, this is my favorite thing. I don't like, it's financially is not making sense. Like, we can't. It's like, so that was really sad, because we had a crew that would go out there. We were hitting Vegas teams and Cali teams. Like, we were like, this is the greatest. You know what I mean? Like,
but Kenny, it's not just you though, dude. It's not just you. It's all these teams.
It was always packed. So what was weird about that is, right, is like, there's a ton of teams there. It's not like it's a ghost town. It's just like 5 dudes at least on 5 tables. One team starts creating all sorts of new logistical issues, right? Like, when 5 dudes are rolling deep as a squad, there's different lodging requirements, there's different eating requirements. You start to not realize the whole normal structure of singles has this whole other thing that happens that's not just playing on a table. And it wasn't hitting. And sorry, I just wanted to interject that, because I've been to those events.
there's a lot of issues, right? And long story short, I come from, I guess, I don't want to say like a more traditional industry, but I really came in with Frontline. Like, how can we make this like really sustainable long-term growth? How can we minimize some of our overhead and really make this thing successful? Because like everyone liked the team event, but it was not viable from the ground up. There's a lot of potential, issues there. So that's why we didn't continue. Now we have this opportunity totally from scratch. We got a community member coming to me, Stephen Corrales, saying, "Hey, let's do this." And he was really pitching the idea to me. But I told him, like, okay, we're going to do this, but it's got to be done like in a completely different thing than we've ever done with Frontline Gaming. Like everything from the ground up for this event is totally different. It is a Frontline Gaming event by the fact that it's produced by Frontline Gaming, but it's completely created by the community. So we've restructured everything to make it sustainable, successful. And like, dude, the tickets go live tomorrow. That's Friday. I'm pretty sure they'll sell out faster than anything else we've ever had before. Like, it's just the demand is there. I'm getting bombarded by people saying, "I want to sign up. I want to know about this." And I'm like, when we
talked to your boy Steven, he mentioned us. He said that he thinks that like there's already like 11 international teams that are like
like what the hell, right? Like
11 international teams.
For context, that's 88 people.
That's 88 people for anyone to count, because it is an 8-man team. We went over that.
That's it.
Let's say
a major in itself.
Because this is the podcast. Let's put that out there. 8-man teams, not 5-man teams. We actually talk a lot about teams on this podcast. Historically, Kicker. We were there day one for like ATC's inception. As a matter of fact, we were part of that, of that encouragement to get that off the ground. And now that we've been playing 5-man teams for all these years, and the trials and tribulations, just getting 4 dudes to show up.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
And then we got 5, and then we kind of stabilized that, where people actually have teams based around that concept. Now the timing's right for 8, like the big boys do, and the World Arena, right?
Exactly.
So that's a gimmick all in itself, a hook right there. And look at the intrigue, the interest already. We already heard like 11 international teams are already down. You guys are talking about 500 players are going to.
This is a year one event, dude. This is year one, right? Like this is year one. This is where we're starting at. Yeah. Like think about where we'll be next year, right? I mean, we our limiting factor is that we want to do this right. So 2 things, right? This event is done completely by the community. This is a Frontline Gaming produced event. Like we're carrying the risk. We're putting the money down to get the venue. We got to get the terrain, but like the format, right? The structure of the entire event is really a teamwork between myself, Stephen Corrales, and then Sean Nading's having the format, making sure the terrain is right? So it's this beautiful creation done by the community for the community, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Now, how do we make this like why 8-man? It's because the WTC format is so legit, right? They figured it out, right? Naden loves the 8-man format. I was like, man, I got, I'm a pretty social guy. I got a lot of friends, but I don't know if I have like 8 friends that I'd actually want to travel with. Like, how realistic is this? So like, you're talking about getting 5 guys, now getting 3 more guys to really travel across the country or around the world. Like that's a struggle. But it's like back to the beginning. It's not actually as much of a struggle as it would have been years ago, because now we've been conditioned. We've got 5 dudes. I've got my 5. Absolutely.
And now I just got to get 3 more. And so I'm guarantee that there's going to be an award. We always say this, like if you can get to the event with the same 8 guys you said you were going to go to the event with in the beginning of the journey, you'd be in an elite crowd.
That's an award.
Yeah. So that's an award right there. We probably should create that, right? Participation award or something.
Straight up, like because we're gonna go through that little bit of a growing pain a little bit with some people where they're like, yo, this is my stand-in, yo. It's your job to run whatever wacky shenanigans you have. And we just met you because you're friends with Jason and this guy, and that's a part of it, man. And so going back to the origin of how this works, and I encourage people to be a part of that, because it can only happen once. Like the year one of an event like this only happens once.
Yeah. I mean, this is the birth of it, right? This is the birth. And so we're doing it right. Like we're setting the standards right. We're doing everything from the whole structure is totally different. One of the things is like, we want to have certain awards in there. I don't want to spill the beans just yet. But we got some solid awards there that are not leading just into the competitive side. I know you guys run the long war doubles. I see you guys at LVO, right? That's not just competitive play that we focus on. We focus on other elements of that tournament, right? Same with the Champions Cup. There's going to be other things there that we're going to be announcing this whole set of awards, because we don't want to just focus on, yes, we do care about the guys that are going to kick your ass, right? We're going to have Art of War there. We're going to have XPZ. We're going to have Vanguard Tactics. Hell, hopefully we have Wyatt and his crew. Kenny, you going to come play? Hopefully you come play. I don't know. Maybe you will. But I feel like in the after hours interview, I think one of the things Steven said at the end was that he
said I had to color commentate.
Oh, you had to.
I think he kind of snuck that in at the end where he was like,
He was voluntold for sure.
Yeah.
like he was like, oh, and we're gonna bring some innovative streaming and this and that, and then he said something kind of right as he was logging off, where it's like, and my crew's saying it's not going off without our color commentators, and then like he like left, and I was like, oh, this fucking guy. So I don't think I'm playing, dude. I think I might actually be on the stream, is based on like the way that's. Yes.
So one of the things we're doing for this, right, is also like the streaming on the back end, and Steven's doing a lot what he did at Cali Cup, but we're taking to another level. We have you'll have a whole space just for you guys. Basically, we can put the top table in their own little room, have a cool I don't know. We're getting, way ahead of where we need to be talking right now. The point is that we're doing things completely different than we've ever done before. We're really leading not only into the individual team playing, but also the club as a whole, so that coaches, support staff are all welcome to come. And we want them to come. There's a reason for them to come, which we'll be announcing later on. So clubs are, you might have 8 players repping your club, but ideally you get a few other guys there coming and hanging out and cheering you on and enjoying the event as well. So there's layers here that make this event it keeps on getting better, right? And I'm just dude, it's been, we haven't gone live yet, right? And people are this hyped for it. So, and the cool thing is, it's not just my idea, not just Corrales, and not just Naden. We're getting all these club leaders who now in our private Discord pitching ideas that are making this event continually better. So we literally have this great, hive mind of people all contributing and making this thing happen. I mean, I don't know if I could say this, but we just had the Navy and the Army sign up, and they're both going to bring a club, and they're going to go, and actually, Kenny, get ready. I think we're going to do an expo game the night before, so that you guys can get a little practice in with the stream before we go live on Friday, but also because it'll be really cool to do an Army Navy, stream. But anyway, a lot of good stuff coming. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And you said
I talk a lot. So
so originally the idea was to replace SoCal Open with this event and have it at the Del Mar location in San Diego, but that's going to be moved, correct?
Yeah, so I know Kenny's been there. Wyatt, have you been there? I know Rob doesn't like to fly or leave the East Coast or something, right? But Wyatt, have you been to the Del Mar?
Fly.
Yeah, I've been to SoCal 5 years running. Okay,
so the problem with that venue, and let's just call it what it is, it's pretty it's pretty crappy. There's no PA system, right? The food there sucks. There's no lodging nearby, not affordable lodging. You're kind of limited because the airport is one of the more expensive airports in the country to fly to compared to, say, a major hub like Atlanta or Dallas. So there's a lot of limiting factors. And originally we were going to do just 32 teams. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. And I told Stephen, we'll do 32 teams. It's okay. But then when we started getting a team, Eric, a guy from Australia reaching out to me and talking to me about this, I'm like, I can't have a guy come from Australia to not have a premium experience. I want him to have the best damn experience possible. That means the venue has to live up to a certain standard. I want them to have great food on site. I want them to be able to walk across the street and grab restaurant food really easily, or have a hotel there so they can just walk out of bed, go down the elevator. So there's a lot of reasons to move it. But the biggest one was also the airport. Dallas is a major airport with direct flights to Frankfurt and all over Europe. So it's we had to move it. So the SoCal Open is still going to stay the SoCal Open. I don't know if I can tell you what that's going to be. It's still going to be an event happening there. It's one that I know Krause is really excited about. I don't know if he talked about it to you guys, but it will still be happening in October. Okay, cool. Well, SoCal Open will be happening, but we're revamping it in the best way possible. Yeah, same venue and everything.
Are we going to
changing?
Are you going to do the Champions Cup at the same venue that Lone Star Opens at?
Yes. So we haven't.
I'm just curious because I really like that venue. It's great.
Yeah. So we're. I guess this will be the formal announcement right now. Tomorrow is the public statement going online. But yeah, so the event has gone from being in San Diego in October to being in Texas in September. And this is because we can get that venue, which and love, the Lone Star Open venue, which is basically the perfect venue for an event like this. The big difference is, it's right. It's fantastic, dude. And the best thing is that venue is going to be just for 40K. Imagine that hall, that hall. It's massive, Wyatt. It's going to be just for the 40K. The 40K Champions Cup. Yeah, huge, absolutely huge. So year one, 2024, that's where we're going to be. I don't know if you notice, Wyatt, when you go in and out, there's a bunch of breakout rooms. We also have all those breakout rooms that are part of our contract, as well as the big foyer. So the pregame party, the postgame party, that will all be in the foyer. We'll set up a bar and everything there. So awesome. That the contract, man, dude, it was a long one because I'm I want to get more and more space because I don't want you guys to be stuck in a hall where there's tables. I want people to be able to hang out in different parts of the hotel. So anyway, it's a pretty sweet idea, but man, that's 40,000 square feet, and we're at 64 teams. If we want to double this next year, in 2025, which is the goal is to double this. We need a bigger space, so we will have to keep on moving around the country until we find a long-term home that can sustain us I'd like this to be, 1,000-person event. Like I would like this to be 120 for 28 teams. Like, and I think that's realistic. I mean, based off the demand without really pushing so far, I think that this can be, easily a 100+ team event.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I'm an optimistic guy, but I'm also extremely realistic. And I'm just looking at the numbers here and I'm like, wow, without much hype, just working with the community, people like frontline gaming, but there's definitely some people that don't like frontline gaming. But everyone loves the idea of frontline gaming working with the community to do what they want. So I think we're getting a lot of people that traditionally had never been to a frontline gaming event or didn't go to frontline gaming events again. They're like, okay, this is cool. This is frontline gaming is providing the terrain. By the way, the terrain, we're making terrain for this event. I don't know how much you guys have heard.
Oh, new custom cut terrain?
Yeah, dude. Yes. Yeah,
it's going to be the what do you call it? Is it pre-painted or do you call it like screen printed?
We call it pre-painted because it sounds sexy, but it's printed out, right? But high resolution pre-printed WTC style terrain. We're working. I don't want to go into the details about this. This is a whole nother podcast, but I had a very long call with Tom from the WTC earlier this week, and we're going to be working together to really make this just awesome. And one of those elements is using WTC terrain. Now we're going to make WTC terrain the way Frontline Game likes to make terrain, like beautifully pre-painted terrain, high resolution images on the cutouts. It's going to be MDF most likely instead of the cardboard stuff they use because it's just a little more sturdier. But we're going to aim for about 100 tables of the WTC terrain, and then we're going to use some of the brand new terrain that you saw at SoCal recently, like GW style. And then we'll use whatever we can do. We're going to let Nathan basically take our inventory and say, hey man, make the rest of the tables with what you got. But the idea is it will be fixed or set terrain deployment. So,
gotcha.
Which is totally different. Like guys, we've been doing player placed terrain at our events since I guess 8th, right? So, it's going to be weird to do a set terrain thing now.
Sometimes it's faster.
Yeah. Well, it's faster for I think the players, I'm a lazy sack of shit, so I don't want to go set up terrain.
Yeah, it's so much work for TOs.
It is, but for a team event, you can just publish the layout. Yeah, know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've seen that done, right? there's just like a laminator or it's in the PDF and it's like, and we know we're used to team events saying knowing that there's a dense table and there's there's 4 different loadouts to choose from or whatever. And that's part of the matchup strengths and strategies, right? So I think for team, it makes a lot of sense, honestly. It doesn't really impact it too much. I think that's cool.
And so I'm not guys, remember, I do play 40K. I just played a beautiful game this afternoon. I got my ass kicked, but I had fun, right? But so I play, but I'm not you guys are actually good, right? You guys are event goers. I kind of run the events on the back end. So I'm going to use this opportunity now. Tell me what you guys think. How important is it to have a aesthetically pleasing terrain? You're going to this event to play a competitive event. Do you care if the terrain is just solid spray painted black, or is the pre-painted stuff, the more, immersive terrain, actually valuable to you at that competitive level?
I would say, does it matter, to the game? No. Yeah. But it is nicer if the terrain looks nice. Cool. Will I go to an event and if the terrain is drab gray spray painted, but the terrain shape works to give an enjoyable experience for both players, I'm not going to have less fun than if it was painted all nicely or your FLG screen printed stuff. Yeah. But if you do have that, it's going to look more dope and it's going to be more immersive.
Yeah. Well, plus you won't get flamed on the internet for it.
As long as it's not pink foam and other garbage with toothpicks in it, you'll be fine.
Pink foam's only allowed if it's flaccid shape.
Yeah, it's got to be
phallic shape.
Got to be dick shape.
Phallic shape.
Gotta be.
I mean, we'll make one table just for that. But no, so we could promote printing out the terrain is actually a time-consuming thing. It takes a while to print out that MDF, right? So if we wanted to cut corners, we could just do, the exact terrain we're talking about, the WTC terrain, but not make it look pretty. But I'm really very rigid about doing this correctly. I want to do this right. So I want every table to look beautiful.
Yeah, every table's an advertisement.
Yeah, literally, exactly, Rob. Yeah, you lose out on marketing if you can't photograph well.
Yeah,
right?
And you already know,
especially because an event like this, for all the people who can't go, or maybe they're thinking about going, or they're going to be watching the stream because the stream is going to be really important, right? As a spectator event. If you have a good looking set of terrain that is on your tables and you're this is our terrain, this is the set we created for this event. If it looks dope and it's really functional for the game, people are going to want to buy that set of terrain for like their local shop or for their, like hobby hangout space at home. So having a good set is just better.
Pretty great. Yeah. I'm not going to try to plug the tickets because I think they're going to sell out pretty, organically. But I do want to tell you guys, we're talking about this terrain here. And I mean, like I have access to basically every terrain set there is. Like, I have a good relationship with GW. I obviously work for Frontline Gaming. I can get any terrain I want. But you know what terrain I don't have? I don't have WTC terrain. And I bet a lot of people in the US don't have WTC terrain. And guess what? If they're going to the Champions Cup, they probably want to get some practice under the belt with that terrain. So one of the things you get once your club, so we're framing this as like a club buys a ticket that, that club then can send 8 people to go rep that club and the team as the team players, whatever. Each club that gets a ticket gets to buy this WTC terrain we're making at a special club price, just because like we want you to start practicing with it. Yeah, so you'll get first dibs on it as soon as we get production. After LVO, we'll start producing it. And the idea is that clubs that have a ticket to the to the Champions Cup will be able to immediately start practicing. Like they can get terrain at a super cheap price, cheaper than we sell our normal, way cheaper than we sell our normal terrain, because we want this whole event to be not a barrier to attend, right? We want it to be an airport or a city that people can easily get to. We want the lodging to be affordable. There's other people running events that are, it's expensive as fuck to stay. Sorry, I don't know how much I can curse. It's very expensive to stay at some of those other hotels and stuff. So we want it to be affordable. So anyway, and part of that is we want people to be able to get real practice in, which means they got to be able to buy terrain for a fair price. So that's just like one of the many little things we're doing. Yeah. Hey guys, question, because I'm getting to ask you guys stuff, right? Coaches tables. Is that something we need? Steven had mentioned it, and I'm like looking at the layout, and I mean, as of right now, what do you use a coaches table for? Please educate me.
I mean, I'm not super into the like nuts and bolts of how they actually run the WTC teams. But if we're basing it off of like California teams or Vegas teams, typically what we have to do is just like have a sheet of paper and we're like pushing terrain out of the place on like one of the tables, like while everybody's trying to like get to their stuff and set everything out. Yeah. So I mean, like having a small end table on a row of 8, where the 2 captains can like sit down and like do their pairings, because like part of the ticket admission that you're getting is the pairing mat and the pairing deck that's exclusive for the event. So like having maybe like a 4x4 like end table where a coach can like stage and do the pairings and just like stage in general for like, oh, I need to go ask like my coach something about like a rule or something, like, and just be able to walk right there to have a table and all that set up. And then like just having that extra space maybe for like team mom duties of like sending out bags, having buckets of beer, like different things. It's a great idea all around.
So I was playing around with the layout because I'm very familiar with this venue. I mean, we've done 3 years working at that venue, so this will be our 4th year, and we'll be doing 2 events next year. So I know this venue well, and I'm like, you know what? Let's give each team not only a table. You're talking about a row of tables. I'm like, let's make this great. Every single table will be floating, so it'll be so you have like 365, movement on all tables, because we want this to be like that perfect experience. And then in the middle, so basically imagine 9 tables, and then in the middle of those 9 tables, you'll have the coach table, so that you can have the coaches right in the middle of the hub, I guess.
Okay, cool.
So we have a pretty cool little setup. So you have this block, I guess, this little block of I guess players with their coach in the middle. So I'm really stoked. We're trying to give everyone all the little bells and whistles to make this the experience. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. And like I said, we're just getting started. Once tickets go live, we'll have a whole bunch of other clubs that will be formally part of us. And like those clubs will have club leaders that we'll invite to our Discord, and hopefully they'll be able to chime in and tell us how they want things to go.
Awesome. Well, I am super looking forward to it. And I assume you're going to have more info coming out on the FLG blog over the course.
Yeah, literally tomorrow we go live publicly. So we didn't tell anyone except people that applied that we were going to start selling tickets on Friday. So that we this Friday.
Told somebody.
Tomorrow. I think I told you. I told you. I tell you too much stuff, man. I need to stop calling you up in like random moments of the day. I probably need to know the hell out of Rob. I just like, I'm driving right now. Just give him a call. How you doing, Rob? You know some stuff.
I like talking. Everybody tells me their secrets. It's great.
Yeah. What is this? This guy's the guy from Game of Thrones. What is it? A Littlefinger or something? He knows everything that's going on in the community, right?
And just so you know,
Littlefinger.
Rob doesn't tell anyone secrets. He didn't tell anyone about any of this stuff. We got this information from Steven.
Oh, okay,
Rob didn't tell us shit. Rob will never tell a secret.
Good.
Not even us. We didn't even know he knew. He was just pretending like this is all new information to him.
Wild.
Well, no, I'm stoked to have you guys there. You know, I know Rob, you might not be there in person this year until we have an East Coast event, which
I can
realistically
drive to
can happen,
Texas.
right? You can drive to Texas. Cool.
It's
It's like a 2-day thing.
You drive to Texas, I'm buying you barbecue, man. All right? No, seriously. No, like I freaking love barbecue in Texas. Like I
got some
I'm a
gluten
Texas
free.
barbecue snob. Oh, yeah, he doesn't do gluten, right? Oh shit, yeah. Well, we'll figure it out.
Most- most of-
free.
They'll tell you.
Yeah,
they'll
right.
tell you what's in the sauce generally.
It's just meat.
Just me, yeah.
It's
Just
a
eat the
sauce.
meat. Yeah, no,
Oh, okay.
Sauce can be a problem.
jeez, man. I'm sorry.
I don't make the
I'm sorry.
rules.
Well, the good thing
Well,
is
no,
like
I-
Texas barbecue it's like it's not like drenched in sauce. Like you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like you're supposed to tear it and like dip it.
So just like
Yeah,
a little
you'll be
bit,
fine.
just a little gluten is fine.
Yeah.
Just a little. It's okay. You only get like minor
I mean, the
shits.
meat
It's okay.
itself is going to blow your beehole out, so you might as well just go all the way, dude.
Exactly. Some things are worth it, man. Like it's worth it. I mean,
I agree.
why you're in Texas, right? Why Texas is home for you, right, man?
Yeah, for a little bit longer. I'm actually moving out to
Hilariously,
the West Coast next
not
year.
for this.
Got him.
Oh man, no.
Hilariously.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's super easy. You just like
Yeah.
honestly, I would rather just like fly to Dallas every time than drive like 4 hours in like the Texas north-south
Yeah.
interstate is the worst. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, do I drive 4 hours from Austin or will I be in San Diego and it's like a 3-hour flight? Okay, tight.
Yeah.
We'll just go.
Yeah. Yeah. And the flights are cheap, and and once you're at this venue, you don't need a freaking car, right? Everything's right around the corner, so it's just
Yeah.
a pretty nice little setup there.
Just walk across the street and there's that whole like, I mean, there's at least
Yeah.
like 6 restaurants right there.
Oh yeah. The Waters Creek Community Village area, whatever. So it's all the restaurants and bars and stuff. So yeah, I mean, like it just makes sense because no one wants to rent a car and no one wants to pay Uber. Well, 2 or 3 Ubers to get their team to restaurants. So yeah, it's a no brainer, man. But yeah, sweet. I'm stoked to know that Kenny. I guess you better be there commentating.
I mean, I'll be there one way. I'll be there one way or another. Like, I'm either going to be
cool.
playing 40K or talking about 40K or pretending I know what I'm talking about
Yeah.
while looking at people play 40K.
You'll play a game or two before then, I'm sure.
100%.
Sweet guys, I love it. You guys have any other questions for me, or what do you mean? I know I'll see you guys at LVO, not Rob, unfortunately, but I'll see the Wyatt and Kenny at LVO. Anything else?
It might just
you
be
guys-
me. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Still healing up from the surgery, dude. It's the worst.
No, man, I'm sorry.
But we're getting there. No, I think I'm good on questions. Unless the other guys have anything.
No, we're good. Thank you for taking time out of your busy
bro.
schedule, Kicker, and get back to that crying baby.
Good to see you on the cell phone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, only the fan. I do live in the swamps of Louisiana. This is the peak of technology right here on cell phones. So yeah. And I apologize though if I sound or look like I haven't slept in 5 days. It's because I haven't slept in 5 days. So
That's fair.
It's just changing diapers and trying to run an event. Like it's life. But so always good to talk to you guys. All right.
Awesome, man.
Same,
Thanks
bro.
for coming on.
Peace out.
Like we did it, guys. Wyatt, you want to take us out of here?
Rob.
So that's it for this one. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.